Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, dobre večer if you're in Europe. We are about to have a pretty awesome matchup coming up right here. My name, of course, is your host, as always, Strong Legs. This fine young gentleman right here is Darth Mike. We'll be bringing you the action. First of all, good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Roy. I'm excited to get into it. These are two teams I don't have as much experience with, or I haven't really seen much of, so it's always fun to find new talent and new rosters, and
Okay.
excited to see what they're bringing to the table.
Well, to be fair, Portuguese CS isn't as popular, but I'm glad they are around, Mike. They're a rare breed, but they are always fun to watch. And of course, ESPADA, who had a Spaniard team, and I think it was maybe even Portuguese team at one point, but now they have a Russian team. So they've kind of done a little swap around. So Offset used to have a Russian team. Now they just did a little bit of a swap. But ESPADA, of course, has some of the players that you might recognize from the old Spirit lineup, of course, in Sotfik and Dima. So they're always a lot of fun to watch. And I think based on looking at this video, Mike, this is going to be a super difficult game for Offset. Knife round's actually already underway, so we can just go ahead and jump into the in-game here shortly. But, Mike, this video, by the way, if you're wondering, is Dust 2 for the first pick. That's ESPADA's map pick. Second map is Inferno. That is Offset, of course. And the decider map is Train, an incredibly strong map for the Russian side. And I think Offset's pretty well versed on it as well. So if we do find ourselves on Train, it will be fun to watch. But personally, I feel like my intuition is leaning for a 2-0 here for ESPADA. As soon as we're ready, in-game will begin. Action is coming, Mike.
It is indeed. I'm going to lean on your expertise here. Just not a lot of information to draw on for me in terms of map prediction. But the players I'm most familiar with are on that ESPADA side. I mean, Dima is a consistent player. Sotfik as well, incredibly individually skilled and always has. You see him in the pugging leagues a lot. Playing his heart out and taking home prizes. And Dima as well is a sort of a character of a person. So he's always good to have in a roster from just a spirit and morale side of things. He's a good voice to have in a roster, especially one that has a lot of young players. I mean, we were looking at it beforehand. There's a player who's 16, 18, and then 20. I think Patzel is 16. So very young star coming up here. And I'm excited to see what they got to show.
I think we're having some technical audio issues already, so we'll get that resolved as soon as possible here. But right now, it is Offset on the CT side. They're looking to hold this back, but they have... Mike, this is a knock-knock. And no one's going to answer the knock-knock because no one's home at long 8. And ESPADA just walked out.
Just taking the ground. That's lovely to see. We saw this setup quite a bit last night when we were watching Dust 2 as well, right? Where they gave up the long presence to try and take the cap presence. And what I will say is it did not work for the Rugrats at all. And I don't think it's going to work very well for Offset either. They're going to be going for the full retake on towards A. Bomb's going to presumably be planted. OBJ might be able to pluck ahead if someone gets a little too greedy, but that Molotov's going to force him to push back, take that possibility away from him. So the bomb's already going to be down. Not even a single bullet fired from either side at this point. And now it's a full retake for Offset. And that's just kind of a tricky prospect here.
Yeah, and I actually really love this play as well from Dima. I think, did he just get spotted? I'm not sure, but this is a great fallback blank. They're not going to expect this, not this late at least. And it's a 5-man retake coming in from short 8 and from the CT spawn. And Dima, he's got the timing, but as he land the shots, and he's not the one to land him, but it's going to be Dexter and Elaine from top of the site. And of course, Patsy, the young gun, and it will be Finnegan with the team ace almost. And all 5 players. So we're going to go ahead and jump back to what caster cams here real quick while we figure out this audio issue. Should be in-game sound, but that will be resolved here shortly. But Mike, I just want to point out the fact that they did not take a single point of damage, not even one. That's discount head armor for them. Is that a sign to what's to come here on the Dust 2, Mike?
Maybe, possibly, potentially. It's gonna be interesting. The firepower from the T side is gonna be pretty much impossible for these CTs to overcome. And I'm just trying to figure that out here. I think Elaine might be Sotfik. I'm not actually sure of that. He's showing a Sotfik on the score ticker over on HLTV. Not sure if that's a name change or whether this is just a Steam alias he's playing with. But that is something to keep an eye on. We are going to be seeing, again, just to take up long, and this time with weaponry, of course, why not? You've got scopes on your Krieg, you've got rifles all the way through, and all you've got to contend with is some pesky USPs and P2000. So no problem there. Smoke's going to go in, utility out. You've got one player in Gandalf. Maybe he could do something. Maybe he can get a little something going on from around this box. The bomb's going to be planted. He's already been found out, and this round is pretty much over. They're going to try and do a little bit of a murder snake, maybe catch somebody on the exit, but unless ESPADA gives them something for free, there really should be nothing found here for Offset.
You gotta love that. Sophic with the awareness of a Buddhist monk. He's fake planting the bomb, getting that guy again off the peek out into him. Could not be any cleaner, honestly. Barely any point of damage taken here in the second round as well. Offset forced to fall back. They're looking for exits. I like this, actually. Don't feed away the kill reward. You have nothing to gain. Only things to lose. But if they can get a kill or two coming out here in long doors, why not? But I think ESPADA is a little bit more too aware for that right now. And that's a 2-0. Now Offset, they've saved up for this next round. They're not going to have the op. They will have M4s. They will have FAMASs if they downgrade for that extra utility and a possible kit. But overall, ESPADA is definitely in the driver's seat in terms of weaponry right here and utility.
No kits. No kits always concerning here, especially because they've been giving up sort of after the first engagement. They've been finding themselves very much off of the site, right? At least we saw with these A takes. And this time it's a bit of an adjustment here from ESPADA. They know the guns are coming up, so they're taking cat control instead. And this is a perfect read. They've exactly found the timing. This is the round where Offset double pushes towards long, puts heavy presence that direction. Meanwhile, over here by Catwalk, you've just got Zelen, who's hearing a lot of footsteps, but hasn't seen anybody yet. And he knows he has to be cautious towards mid. So distracted focus and a lot of ground taken early on from ESPADA. They are really making Offset dance to the beat of their drum. And once again, if they want to just walk out on the site, they've got a path to do so. They could plant the bomb with nobody having seen them.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, but only we're privy to this information that no one is watching this, but they might recognize that there is no op, right? As soon as people realize there's no op, they're not afraid to take these duels. They're not afraid to just walk out and take the duels against the M4s and the FAMAS, especially with SGs and AKs, right? Now the utility is a big alarm. Hey, we're possibly entering the A site. You can see Offset's already starting to send the reinforcements over towards towards mid and the A site, but ESPADA already owned the entire site. This is a 5v5 retake with no kits.
This is pistol round all over again, except this time Dima's all the way in towards Tons. He's got a little bit of a faster, or a slower rather, path towards this flank. He's going to need to hit the accelerator here, but still has the chance for a lot of damage. There's the first down. Now the alarm is struck. They know he's here. Can't line up the spray from that range. That's a little bit of a wasted opportunity, and it's going to allow them to keep the numbers even, but positioning still favors ESPADA, and as that time starts to tick down, again, there are no kits available, which is a major concern factor for Offset. Now they've just got OBJ, who's out beyond the smoke. The position is known. He has to get on the bomb, and there's no time. It's not possible anymore. He's gonna lose his life as well. Everybody wiped clean, everybody dead, but ESPADA with the round win.
Oh, yeah, they're more than happy losing all 5 players for that one. The round win, taking out their gun round, putting them back on the $2,900, $3,000 mark. That's another eco here for Offset and another gun round here for ESPADA as they look to continue their what is a great start for them here on this T side. But I have to point something out right now that I think eventually Offset will need to find a solution for, and it's these late lurks coming out from Dima from everywhere. He's coming out late mid, he's coming out late B for the A flanks. Like, these are going to be extremely difficult to deal with unless they realize these are happening consistently.
Ground taken towards Cat as well. There's nobody over towards B. It's a full stack A, which I like. You take your tiny amount of weaponry and you say, look, either they're going to hit A and we can actually do some damage, or they're not. And this round was going to be lost anyway. No reason to spread out what little you've got. And interestingly, ESPADA does not seem to have read it. They've been very reticent to actually poke onto the B bomb site. The lurk onto B the last round was the first time we'd actually seen anyone move out there. So now it is going to be a little bit of a prod towards A, and everybody's here, but the rifles are still winning the day. They're keeping these pistols at arm's reach. They've now dropped 3, losing only 1 player in turn. I think they're perfectly happy with this. They have dismantled the stack by coming up Cat, and Offset, despite having everybody here, just don't get enough to show for it. Only 1 player dropped for that ESPADA side, and they are continuing to just steamroll over Offset round after round after round. It feels like every round they manage to find the soft point, manage to find a path onto site. That time, they run into the stack, but it's just pistols. And they're perfectly happy to pick them off, to keep them in arm's reach and just pluck heads.
This is really solid play right now from ESPADA. I'm pretty impressed. By the way, lane is Sophic. Confirmed. Right. You know, it is now.
Big facts. Big confirmation. Yep, good to know they Haven't cut the play slot pick.
Oh god, okay, that nade first of all just did 50 damage to OBJ, but this is a double op setup here for Offset, something we have not seen yet. Of course, they've not really had the money for it, but now it's out. Have kits, they have utility. There's no more excuses. They need to make their stand here, Mike. This could spiral quickly out of their control. Right now, they're in a perfect position to do so, except the fact that OBJ is pretty wounded on the A side, and he's really the only defender here that could have a say if they get up cat.
Fortunately, he does have that AWP in hand, so we've seen it. We saw it last night from this position, a little bit more towards Car, but it's easy to hit that shot, fall, hit another shot, try and get as much impact as possible before they overrun you, especially when you've got support out towards the platform by Pit. Actually, it's in Pit proper. So they are going to flash their way out, take this long control. The Pit player has to hold strong or at least get some damage here. Otherwise, they are really going to sell out sight. Molly's in, forcing the fight, loses the duel without actually connecting a bullet, and that's a massive problem now for OBJ. He is alone on site, has to look two directions. His supporting player is in towards CT, can't quite get there in time. Molly going to force him out and losing his life. Again, they are just being played like a fiddle. There is nothing Offset can do here. They're not even getting a chance to fire back. The utility's just coming in perfectly to knock them out of their positions, to force them into the crosshairs of the rifle. And this is already a save. This is already a 1 round. Maybe Zelen gets a kill here. Does indeed. But that's about all you can hope for, is keeping this op alive back on Silinx's body. And this is really Offset just getting ruined round after round after round. Not even really a chance to fight back.
You just have to love this default, though, from ESPADA, huh? It's so volatile. They're very patient when it's time to be patient, and as soon as it's time to go, they have their entire protocol in check, Mike. They cleared out Pit instantly with that flash Molly combo. They pushed him out of Pit. They flushed the guy out of sight. It's like the team cohesion right now for ESPADA is insane to watch, and I think it's just too much for Offset right now. Just look at that, one person high ground holding pressure, the other one kind of gaining ground on him in the low ground. This is insane right now from ESPADA.
They're beautifully drilled. It really is exactly what you're talking about with just the team play coordination. The nade comes in, the timing is just perfect. As the utility comes in, the swing to check whatever they're trying to clear is perfect. There's no hesitation. There's no second of delay that might give them a chance to fight back. This is just, it's merciless, and it's wonderfully done. Against this, Offset just seems to be a little bit out of their depth. They're kind of getting blown out of the water right here. They're going to go for the same long stack we saw previously with the pistols. Just try it again, see if it happens. And it's a similar setup for ESPADA, where they were initially in tunnels. Now they're moving out towards catwalk. Might head onto the site. But if they see the exact same information as last time, maybe they'll put together in their heads that this is an A stack again, and just see if they choose a different site. Early on, seems like they're going to do the exact same game plan. We'll see if it works just as effectively as last time.
Yeah, and I think ESPADA this time might have an inkling that this is happening. Last time they had a lot of pressure. Oh, okay, he just jump spotted 4 players on the A site with that. Wow, that is an impactful jump if I've ever seen one, Mike. And now just the nades are just gonna rain in on their heads. This is just clinical, Mike. They have nothing. They can't deal with this pressure at all.
What a read as well, because it was playing out exactly as the previous round, and this time we just get that little jump, stop it, and he knows everything is sold away. He's got all the info, and now once again the stack has just been cleared up. They've got the bomb plant, and they have such forward positioning because everybody was out towards long that there's not even a chance for Offset to get close to doing damage in this round. They're not really finding much of anything at all. Finally, a connection with the Deagle. Dima is low at least, but he can just fade off and let his teammates take the fight. There's no reason to drop even this one gun. Their money is ridiculous, and it's only going to get better for the ESPADA side as they just show no signs of slowing down. There has been no point in any of these rounds where the round hasn't been firmly in control of ESPADA.
How many rounds now has it been since they've had 5 alive? Are we going on 3?
It would be wild. No, they had 4 in the last 2.
Okay.
But I mean, 4, 4, 5.
I think it was 4 on the Hunts though, right? Not so much in the
yes.
round?
They had 1 round where they lost everybody, where everybody was wiped on the server, and every other round they've either kept 4 or 5 alive. This is pretty ridiculous. There's just been no damage really out from the Offset side. They have 6 kills total across the board. That's 1 a round at this point, and just based on my rough understanding of math, that's not good enough.
Okay. I am liking the kind of difference here for Offset. They have not quite given up. They're not into autopilot just yet. They've not lost their psyche completely, Mike. They're looking for some sort of assertive early action. They went for the cat pick this time. It's not successful. Now it's looking for the mid pick, and that soft pick gone down. That's one of the hard hitters eliminated for ESPADA. That's a great find for Zlings. Now he needs to convert and deal with this mid pressure. Good counter smoke to delay things here out in mid, but ESPADA is not fully committed, and now there's alert coming out long. That's going to be a very important battle here for the long gate control. If Patsy wins this, it's a lot of pressure on the gate players, but nope. Riz, he's holding it down. He's not letting go of long gate, and that's a massive find now for Offset as they've solidified their A defenses and denied the split here.
This is the changeup. Now we'll see if there can be a recovery here from ESPADA. This is the first time they've really felt the pressure in an individual round. Dexter will get a pick, but flying through the airs, Lynx is just going to be able to trade that back. Damage still being done here. And honestly, provided ESPADA can get another kill out of this, I think they say it's a pretty successful round. They might still have an opportunity here, especially as the bomb's now down. First kill, second kill. Dima bails out Finnegan, keeps his teammate alive, and now it's all falling apart. Offset, they finally looked like they were going to have an opportunity, finally looked like they were going to get a round. But the players steal it back. Dima and Finnegan just working together as a tandem again to put 7 on the board and to crush what little hope Offset had.
That one hurts my soul, Mike. Everything was going so well for Offset there. They had all the conditions for that win. They denied the A control. They denied the mid control. They had them funneled coming up short. All they had to do was just focus their efforts on one direction. And a 3v5 for ESPADA. Mind you, it was beautiful play from them, no doubt about it. But come on, a double man advantage. You know exactly where they're going. That's rough. Now it's just ESPADA walking out B. They've recognized that it's been usually A stacks for Offset, and now they're just going to abuse the open B site.
Why not? Give them a site for free. They're going to take it. There's the first player spotted. Back of the molly, actually, I think slowed this kill down. Dima not able to connect there. A little bit high and wide on the spray, so they're going to survive at least for the moment with all 5. But now here's the flank, the lurk. Oh, perfect here. 1, 2. Should be a third kill as well onto the player OBJ out towards Cat. That was a tunnel player. It's just a question of whether they can do a little bit of damage here, but honestly, with the money the way it is over on the ESPADA side, it's not even really that big of a concern. They just want to see the round through. They'll get 8. They'll definitely have won the half and looking to get a whole lot more than that. And again, it does seem like they're going to keep 4 players alive, quite a few at least. Possible that Patzel is vulnerable here in mid. But with the Krieg, you do kind of favor them this position. They're not going to challenge it at all. They've got 1 Krieg to save through, so that's not bad. A second set of armor as well. They'll have a good buy into this round. They'll have everything they really could want. They'll have kits. They've got the op on OBJ. They might get the double op if they want it. Slinks was pretty effective with that 2 rounds ago. But this is, I would say, kind of a... If they can't win this round and start a little bit of a run back, this game is just completely out of hand, completely out of pocket, and the chances to get it back under control are dwindling.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same exact thing, Mike. Funny that you say that. I completely agree. I think the money for ESPADA is just extremely dangerous now. Post-purchase, we have 4 players over the 5 digits. Patsy at 10, Finnegan at 10. You have Dima at 12.3, Dexter, the Opera at 12,000. I mean, this is buys for 4 or 5 rounds in a row, possibly. And if you continue getting bomb plants, by the time you reach your max loss bonus, you still have money seeped over, so you can just keep buying for the rest of the half, even if you lose out from here. So, I mean, yeah, ESPADA they've done their 401ks, Mike. They've done their RRSPs. They're saved up for retirement. They're good to go for this rest of this half. But I completely agree. I think Offset really needs to make their stand here. 12 rounds here for Radar, definitely possible. OBJ starting to recognize their default. That's a good sign. Softpick's been eliminated. Now it's a 5 versus 4. They've been in this scenario before. They can do it again.
We go, Riz aim. Get around the corner. I think he's going to be vulnerable once he crosses. Doesn't anticipate the close player, but he's got both. Beautiful adjustment. Has them all, and that's a huge result in the round. Now 5 players still alive. This should be easy to hold on to. but maybe a little more difficult if Finnegan's going to rip heads like that. Slinks is still here to make a nuisance of himself now. Everything to Digster, and he's been good, but this is maybe a little bit too much of an ask. Finally, Offset looking to get themselves on the board, but Birding alive. Slinks gives up his life unnecessarily. It's a little bit too aggressive. He had nobody in to support. There's a player right here at window, so Salem should have this kill, and no problem there. Digster doesn't anticipate the window peak for some reason, just anticipates that it would be clear. And that's going to be Offset on the board. Here we go. They got a round, Roy. They got one.
They broke the curse. All right, they broke the 0 curse. Now the rounds are a little less heavy. Not as much pressure. Let's see if they can convert a few more rounds. Mike, even 4 rounds, 5 rounds, these are still okay finishes for the CT side. Zombie running in backwards towards long game. Flash bang. Riz holding it down from Pip. Range off. Dima's pushed through the smoke. Cut off the support for Riz. He's isolated him, and Pip. Riz does not want to give this up. Not for free. OBJ's coming in with the flashbangs, and there it is. He's going to peek off it, realize it's clear, and they're going to readjust their numbers here.
Riz is rallying the troops here. He has been there fight these last couple of rounds. He's been a big part of it. 2 kills in this round. I think he had 2 in the previous as well coming around that. So he's maybe a bit of a rally player here. Was slower earlier on, but so was the rest of his team as well. And now off of the back of 2 strongholds towards A long, maybe they can get something going here. Sometimes you just need that one player to pop off a little bit. And it just reminds you, oh, hey, we can shoot back. We're allowed to do this. Like, we've got these guys. We can make a go of this. That's definitely the kind of mentality they need right now. But we've seen Espada rally these rounds before, and they're going to look to do the same thing again. Bombs over towards Catwalk, looking like it might just walk up, in which case the test is going to be on towards OBJ. Needs to hit at least one of these, preferably 2. And if he falls without a trade, that bomb's going to be planted, and he's going to be in a world of hurt.
And there's a flank coming in from Riz as well. I think he's been spotted on the flank, though. Now OBJ is getting pressured pretty hard. He needs to at least 1 here, Mike, to make this a little more comfortable for his teammate. But he can't even find that. Now it's Riz wounded out long. And he's going to get eliminated by Dexter as well. And what was supposed to be an easy round for them is completely derailed.
That timing is brutal. OBJ was repositioning right as they come around. There's still a chance. But they've got to get this done. And on Catwalk, that off is just not quite favorable. Now, Fragos has to try and get around the corner, and that bomb's planted beautifully for these 2 players. He doesn't have a smoke to cover it off. He's got a single flashbang to try and force this fight, but as soon as he rounds the corner, he should be dead, and it is indeed Finnegan who finishes him off. So a 9th round for Espada, the 1-round win for Offset, completely isolated. At least they'll have money to probably get back into this. I think Riz can drop. They won't have ops if they do decide to force it up. Single op, they do get the AWP, actually. That means 2 players will be quite limited. Selen just going for the deagle. But at least they got a fighting chance. Oh, no, the stack is watched for. Dexter had this the whole time through. They took a little bit too long to go for that peek, and Dexter abused them. So that's going to be already a body drop for Offset, and in a round that they were already going to be limping in terms of weaponry and utility, they're now a little bit more critical.
Look how susceptible they are to a Mitsubishi right now. There's no one that could stop it. No one that could counter them in control. Dima's holding the upper right. Either end well or terribly right here for Offset, but it's already a 1-for-1 trade. Could have been worse, I suppose, but still a man advantage. But now they know there's only a single defender on the B site, and that's an easy split. That's easy pressure.
Ooh, no one was watching towards the window. Fragos gets that kill for free. He's still going to have a ton of pressure on him. Has to hit these shots, trying to get in the air, can't recover in time. And this should be just about over. Bomb planted. This is where you call a save, but they're a little bit panicky here, Offset. They are going to do it. Okay, they take the wise choice. Sometimes when you're late into these rounds, when your opponent has such a commanding lead, the pressure is on to make that hero play, to get into the site, to do something ridiculous. But getting back to the B site with disadvantageous numbers, with limited utility, it's nigh on impossible, and they're just not going to do it. They're going to say discretion is the better part of valor, live to fight another day, take these 2 guns through, at least have something to compete with in the next round. That's going to be double digits for Espada. And apart from the 1 round they dropped, Espada have just looked dominant all the way through here.
Yeah, even like statistically speaking, they're all within a margin, right? There's no one really Hatsi, of course, has the highest ADR by I think a little bit of a margin. But in terms of kills, in terms of impact, I think every player has stepped up when needed. And even the flashbangs. Look at the effective flashbangs for them. They just have it's crazy across the board. There's not a single person that's, you know, the IGL just throwing all the flashes for the team. It's kind of just a continuous, consistent effort for Espada.
It really is.
Now
It's
they're
kind
just
of
going
like
for the B.
There we go. Straight up out the Molotov. This might actually be a bit of a mistake here. 2 players drop now, a third as well. The Molotov did the damage. Now the guns are finishing it off. This is working out nicely here. Finnegan blinded up at just the wrong moment. Is going to lose his life to the MP9 as well. It's all going to be on Dagster. And Dagster is just getting the heck out of Dodge. Minute 25, and this round's already over. So ESPADA tries to just get it done quickly. And whew, that does not work out. Changing up the pace was not the answer. Now the question is, what does Dagster want to do? I think reposition all the way around. Drops the gun. It's interesting. Just trying to keep them, I guess, from getting the AWP. And I think at this point, he's just on a mission to do as much damage as he can to try and limit that utility. He's just going to do that with a deagle, apparently.
I think he's just going for the... Yeah, he's going for the suicide play. I don't think he's looking to hold on to this eagle.
Nah. Drop the... The question is, can he get any kills before they find him?
Is this an alpha play or what, though? Just go out with a deagle?
I kind of love it. It's crazy, man, Dagster. What can he do? All right, here's Greg. Oh! Why would you jump again?
Right?
You know he's there. Oh, the nade gets the second. The nade gets the second. That's fine. He did his job. A deagle for 2 kills on this weakened CT economy. That's going to force so much reinvestment. Why on earth would you jump again, Roy?
I honestly do not have an answer for that. That was a bit of an error there from Custom. What's even the point of jump spotting if you're not jump spotting? If you're just jumping. You're just jumping without the spotting, Mike.
I don't know. I don't understand it. Man was just having too much fun on his pogo stick. He didn't want to go home.
It kind of did look like a pogo stick, honestly.
That's just the silliest.
So
Whatever. It is what it is. They're gonna either have to win this round or their money's gonna be in the dumps again. That does put extra pressure on, losing 2 kills there instead of maybe the 1. Potsy gets the kill. There's the opener they need, and as we've seen, if Offset don't get that initial opener, things get very tough for them pretty much immediately. They've changed up the hold a little bit. They've got Zlinks here, not with the op, but he's here in support of OBJ, who does have that op facing towards a long, so it's a little bit of a different setup than we've seen from them on towards A. But ESPADA have so much time to work with, and they've found the first kill, so they know that pressure's on right now. They can just let Offset stew in it. They can try and drag out what little pieces of utility they actually do have, and Offset, this pressure is mounting again.
A little disappointed to see OBJ so quiet this game. He's usually a pretty good performer for Offset, but he's been a rough one, Mike. He's been missing a lot of shots, been missing a lot of opportunities for his team. You can see him come up strong right here on the long A, rotate with the pop. He's going to need it. Now it's going to be the smokes. Flashes, probably Molotov soon to follow to clear out the site and allow them some space to go, but right now they're stuck behind the molly. Counter Molotov comes out with only 25 seconds left. As the Offset knows this is not a fake.
Rotated everybody over here. We've still got a lurk in towards mid. And Dagster, that's first shot for OBJ. Here's the man you're calling out, but he only gets 1 needed. More than that, this is all falling apart once more, and indeed it will. Big 3K for Dima, and just nothing to show for it for Offset. 3 players surviving. It seemed like they had a good setup this time. They threw it all at securing that A bomb site. They brought everybody over, but they just couldn't quite win their duels, and that's going to be an 11th for ESPADA. It's going to be the money gone for Offset. Another eco this late in the game, just to give them 1 more shot at trying to get a 3rd round, unless they've got a miraculous T side. And again, this is their map pick, so maybe they do. This is looking rather hopeless. Sodfit going to get the first pick, as we've come to expect, and what little hope there may have been in this round, kind of gone. And we were talking about earlier, they hadn't quite given up. Well, they're not even going for the stack anymore. That's been read a little bit too easily. How they're being pushed out by a Molotov out of their own site. It's going to be a free A bomb site with nobody to even look and harass with the deagles as they try and cross. They're just trying to go for a mid crunch onto a lurker and maybe steal a rifle away here. That's pretty much the plan. And that's not going to work. OBJ will go for the flank. He might actually catch Dima in rotation. Although Dima, by that same token, may actually flank the flanker. Timing going to be brutal here, and I think Dima's going to have it. He does indeed. A little shaky on the shot, but eventually does find it. And that's the bomb planted. That's the round over. And at this point, honestly, Zelen and Fragos, they should just save their armor. That's worth having, and Dima doesn't want to allow it.
Yeah, I think I've lost my faith in this map, Mike.
It's finally happened. It's finally
Yeah.
broken.
You know, my optimism this morning was strong. I believed until the double digits here for ESPADA, I think. But I think these last few rounds have been the deal breaker. They had all of the info on that last round. That last gun round really just left a poor taste in my mouth, in my faith here for Offset, on Dusty specifically, at least. I still believe that there is hope in this best of 3, though. I really do. But right now, ESPADA just looks a few inches, a few levels above them on this map, specifically in terms of their protocols, in terms of their approach, just how they're executing on these sites. It's really just the full package here for the Russian side.
It definitely is. I appreciate the fact that you have optimism. My optimism was ruined this morning, Roy, because I woke up and discovered that the bananas I had set aside for breakfast to make breakfast smoothie for myself had been eaten by one of my roommate's friends in the night.
Your roommate's friends. Wow, that's...
Damn, who's blaming?
That's disrespect.
That was not a happy camper when I woke up. So my optimism was at an all-time low right from the get-go. Went down to make my breakfast, discovered no bananas. Was very concerned, very upset. I didn't get my potassium today, Roy.
Unlucky, man. You need that potassium.
There we go. Okay.
I like the fact that they're not giving up completely. They're still trying to reclaim their confidence here on this map. I like that. I appreciate that.
I love it. I love the aggressive op play on Cat. Like, where was this so many rounds ago? We saw OBJ pretty much playing the same position on A with the op. He was out towards car. He was out towards ramp. He was floating somewhere between there. Finally, he gets a little aggressive, and it yields itself a pick. Slinks gets a second. The advantage is still there for Offset. I love this change out. The problem is now they've adjusted back to this really soft A hold with no presence, so they're just going to walk out catwalk. They're going to get a bomb plant, and then they're going to hold Cat for the retake. And we've seen this again and again and again for Offset. I don't think it's worked a single time they've set up like this. And this is concerning. So there was the adjustment early, but once OBJ's out, they go right back to the protocol, and the protocol not working. You got to change it up. At least they get Dima here. He takes the peek in towards CT, gives himself up, perhaps unnecessarily. Problem is, there's still 2 here, and it's Patsy and Dagster, and they've been deadly. Dagster, so bold, that confidence. The man is just dripping confidence at this point. He even gets the last kill as well. A 3K to finish off the half, to frankly probably finish off the map, unless a miracle run comes back here from this Portuguese side. But, whew, Dagster is just feeling it right now.
All right, Mike. I will give you my conditions for my faith restoration. Okay?
Okay.
Pistol round, next 2 gun rounds, and getting up to at least 8 rounds or 9 rounds before ESPADA gets 14. Those are my faith restoration conditions.
You want me to tell you why I don't think those will happen? I mean, apart from the obvious that ESPADA has just been roaring, wrecking it. But this round, right, they invest heavily in utility. They've got 3 players with heavy util, so clearly they've got a plan to get on site. Well, actually, that worked out for them. So I'm going to call this out, even though it just worked. Immediately taking that duel towards mid against USPs just feels so unnecessarily dangerous, because all it takes is losing one of these players, and suddenly whatever plan you had for all of this util is missing one of the critical components. It worked. They got the pick. Fragos was nearly dropped. I'm honestly not sure why Patsy continued to push through mid instead of just taking that duel with the through the door. But that was risky. I don't like that decision necessarily. Now they're going to try and play on towards long. Should be another opportunity this time for Sotfik to just try and get some picks. Might find it. More damage done. It's getting a little frisky, a little risky. Utility down. This nade could be chunky.
Oh my lord.
It is finding itself a kill. There's a second. They have worked their way up catwalk at the very least. And only a 1-man advantage, but a flank coming in as well and cleared out by Dima. He's been good. He continues to be so. They'll concede the bomb plant at least, but ESPADA's already going to be here on the retake, and Dima's trying to claim lives. Might succeed. He's stuck in towards Gandalf. Has support coming from the ramp as well. No. They're bisected. They're cross-fired, and it's over. Pistol round won by ESPADA, and despite the early advantage for Offset, they're not able to convert once.
Okay, first of all, I think what really threw that round around was the nade. That nade was
Beautiful.
Disgusting. It destroyed one player. It brought two players down by I think 30 or 40 HP, softening up for the USPs. But and the other thing is Dima, man. He played that round almost perfectly, I feel. Came in on the flank instantly, relieved pressure on for Dexter on the low ground. Just completely eliminated any sort of paranoia from the high ground. It's great work by him. And then on the flank, he just avoided the 2v1. He just took the individual angles. As soon as he saw two people swinging, he took cover, waited for his teammate. I mean, that was just perfect play in the heat of the moment. But now it's going to be a fast push towards short. They're going to smoke, and that could end poorly or very well for them. A 2-for-1 deal. Less weapons and passage on the A site. Guaranteed bomb plant. No one here to stop it. Already a good sign for Offset. Let's see if they can convert this one. They're definitely going to need it.
It's a great setup now, especially with nobody being around for that early flank onto Catwalk. This is a tough spot for ESPADA to get her out. You've got guns to rail down damage. Count CT, always risky in the best of circumstances, but what a shot from Dima! And there's no long presence here from Offset. They know that for sure, so they just need to contain this presence over towards Catwalk. They're doing the damage, they're finding the kills. So clinical in the retake, even in unfavorable circumstances. They managed to get back through, and yes, there may not have been armor there, so they melted away against the SMGs, but holy cow, that is a clinical retake. ESPADA just not even flinching and making that happen, not dropping a further body. And Offset, every time it feels like they get a glimmer of hope, it just gets ripped away from them.
What I'm confused about is why aren't they fighting? Like, why are you all funneled?
I don't know.
Short A when you can just get smoked. A single smoke will just cut all of you off. Why aren't you taking headshot angles and just fighting the CT from headshot angle with a deagle? There are just so many question marks, and I don't know if there's just a loss of confidence in their ability to fight back right now, but I was just so poorly played in the postman there for Offset. I hate to call it out, especially when they're down 13 rounds, but now it's the final round. It's map point, 13 map points in a row for ESPADA. They're looking like pretty good odds for ESPADA right now on this first map.
I love what Sophics doing here over towards Catwalk. He's not even needed. His teammate gets the kill, but he was in the first smoke, and then a second lurk smoke got thrown out, and he just drifted back into that second lurk smoke, just playing the edge of it, playing so soft, making sure that they were going to have to deal with him where he only gets one coming out on towards B. So now even numbers with the B site taken. This is a great situation. This is the most favorable site to hold, really, in Counter-Strike if you've got enough bodies to watch, and 3 is the magic number. And they have it. They got the bomb down now. Now ESPADA needs to make a decision. They've only got flashbangs, no Molotovs or smokes to clear back through. They're going to take this tunnel presence. If they win this initial duel, I think they go for the retake, and that's exactly what happens. So they're going to come on out, full confidence. They're going to try and take this fight. Interestingly, Finnegan is still pretty far back to go through this window presence. He's not really on the same timing as his teammates, but it doesn't matter, because Patsy's just going to rip the head off the Zealot in the back of the site, and he's going to get the second as well. 3 big kills for Patsy in the round. Makes that retake happen. That's just absurd, and that's going to be map number 1. Claimed, done, dusted, secured, put in a locker. Absolutely destroyed by ESPADA.
Yeah. This has to be Offset right now. You take this map, and you throw it away, and then you forget about it completely, and you move on to your map pick on the second map and hope for the best. Because that will be the only way you'll be able to fight back. Because I have to admit, Mike, that probably was the most flawless Dutsu I've seen in a while. I think from start to finish, they were in full control. At no point did I feel like they were in threat. They were in full control. At no point did I feel like they were losing grip on the game. They had the full economy from the get-go. Their rounds were almost flawless. Their they had like over 6 gun rounds with 4 or 5 players alive until they hunted. Like, that is a terrible sign, and it's a sign of impending doom, no doubt, for Offset. But that is the way it goes. That is the Russians' map pick. Now we move on to the second map on Inferno, if I'm not mistaken. That is the Portuguese side. Hopefully they can bring the flames on this map. For now, we're going to cut to a break. But before we do so, please follow this man here on Twitter. His @'s down below. Mine is here. And of course, Melanie, our producer, does a fantastic job behind the scenes. And if you're in the market for some skins and possible SSD giveaways, 1 terabyte for all your videos and anime, make sure to follow us on all our socials to keep along for those giveaways. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you have, we're there. Follow us, and we'll see you soon for the second map, Inferno.